guys, it is your boy Bretton Biggers here, and welcome to another video. And today's video, we are going to be doing the rewards of the 2024 season. I know it's very sad that we end up losing the Super Bowl, but the fact we even made it was kind of a surprise, not gonna lie. But we are doing the rewards of the NFL season. So we're gonna just get straight into this. But before we get into today's video, thank you guys so much. I already know I made my 550 special and all that stuff by the time I'm recording this. But thank you guys so much for getting me here. We are so close to getting to 600 subscribers. Who knows? By the time I may record this video, we're at 600. I don't know, but thank you guys so much. But anyways, enough said. Let's just get into the video. And starting off, um, we're gonna start off. Who won MVP? So now I'm going to give you the nominations. Players that are in the runnings for the MVP. I had Carter Melkar. That was one of the first people I thought of right away when I was thinking of the MVP voting. Then I thought of Chase Barber. Barber was a very, very big contributor on offense who had the most passing yards on offense, or receiving yards. Bromler was kind of in the consideration just because he had probably the best defensive performance, but offensively he didn't really do that much. Carson was up there, and I had Gio up there. Those are the only nominations that I had, and Matt Zillman. Outside of those players, those are the only big nominate players that I had. And I don't think this is going to come to a shocker to anybody. It's Carter Melkar who won it. I mean, I don't think this is quite of a shocker to anybody. He had over 1,000 yards. He was a decent receiver in the backfield. He did a very good job on defense, leading our team in tackles for loss. And he was like the fifth in sacks on the team. So it's like, I can't really say there's any big player who deserves these upgrades more than Carter did. Carter deserved MVP, and I don't think there's even a question for that. So Carter will get 3 upgrades. That's all going to be it for Carter and having the upgrades. And then have 3 upgrades defensively. Normally, I would give him an additional development trait, but because of the fact that he's already, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to do that. So I'll just give him 3 upgrades at both positions. Actually, I might give him additional 2 upgrades at this position in particular. The reason why is just because, again, he has so many freaking upgrades at this position. Now we're going to get to the offensive MVP. The player who wasn't the MVP, obviously I could have just given Carter Melkar. Yeah, that took a little bit. We're not going to do the MVP. So offensive MVP, obviously all the nominations are kind of in the play here. I was thinking Carson Hill for a little bit because he's such a big contributor to the offense. But the more I thought about it, it's like he didn't have the most touchdowns on the team. He didn't even have the most receiving yards on this team. So I didn't thought of that. I thought of Bromler. I also thought of Max, kind of. Max, because he played multiple positions. He did very well at all those positions. Bromler, because, well, he was a rushing quarterback machine, and plus he was very good wide receiver. But I had to give it to Chase Barber. Chase Barber just made way too much sense. He had the most receiving yards. He tied for the most touchdowns. He's arguably the biggest contributor on offense, honestly. Like, maybe it wasn't the touchdown machine like Bromler was, but he was the guy who got us downfield more often. So he will also just get 3 upgrades on offense. Just offense in particular, not defense. Then we have defensive MVP. So now we have the nominations for defensive MVP. We have Matt Zillman. We have Daniel Gable, which might come to a shock to some people. Carter Krieger, Gio Jock, and Aiden Brown. Those are my defensive nominations. All those players did a very, very big job. At first, I was thinking either Connor Krieger or Gio Jock, because they were both some big contributors on this defensive line, with the amount of injuries that happened with this defensive line over the years, that kind of was me thinking of probably what I was going to do. But instead, I ended up winning with one of the secondary players. And I also, again, is quite a shocker, I gave it to Aiden Brownmiller. Brownmiller was such a beast in that secondary with 6 interceptions. The big reason why I went with him instead of Gio Jock with the most sacks and I think tied for tackles for loss with Carter was one very simple reason. He was tied for 5th in interceptions while Gio was tied for 15th in sacks. So it's like you kind of get the point. I don't really think he really would have deserved it. Then the last reward that I will be giving to is the most improved player. The player that I thought initially wasn't going to make such a big impact on this team, but they surprisingly made a pretty big impact. The nominations I have are Matt Zillman, Daniel Gable, and Jerome Vandenhaven. Jerome, I know this might be a little bit of a shocker for him being nominated, but he was actually a good receiving threat when he was played, and he was a very good at kick and punt returner. Gable was surprisingly a big contributor, not just on offense, but defense. That one game that he had 3 interceptions in, that was insane. But unfortunately, I don't think those guys will get the reward. I think it's going to be Max Zillman. The reason why I had to go with Max Zillman is because of multiple reasons. One, he's the only player on this team that plays 3 positions at all. Second of all, when Jack got hurt, I was very concerned with how this offense was going to work with Max Zillman under helm. But surprisingly, our offense played very, very well with him under helm. So that is the exact reason of why I'm going with Max Zillman. I know maybe some people might be a little pissed at me with why am I going with Max Zillman when I could have gone with other players, blah, blah. It's just because I can. And I think this makes the most logical sense as well. Because, again, I think it's outmatched, especially on defense, because when I moved him to linebacker, because I initially had him at corner for some reason, he just all of a sudden became a beast. He became a completely utter different animal when he went to linebacker. I used him for blitzes, and he was so great at it. I mean, probably my best blitzer, if I had to pick, was probably Shoei, but he was definitely the close second place. So, but anyways, those are all the big major rewards. And I also could say we could just go look at the stats as well. Jack led our team in passing yards with 2,316 yards, as well as touchdowns, but as well as interceptions. We allowed 32 sacks, which I'm pretty sure is the least amount by a single team. I could be wrong by that, but I mean, I could fact check. Nope, never mind. Caleb Williams got 21. Oh, never mind. Wrong one. Bengals allowed 24. Bills allowed 25. Broncos allowed 28. Browns allowed 28. Bucks allowed 29. Cardinals allowed 30. Chargers allowed 20. Chiefs allowed 11. Colts allowed 28. Commanders allowed 22. Cowboys 28. The Dolphins 31. Eagles 34. Falcons 39. Niners 35. The Giants 33. So I think we're probably about the middle of the pack, basically. I think. I said it's a fair assumption to say. We're ranked 7th in offense with the number 1 defense. Carter was the league leader in rushing yards. I went to receiving yards, sorry. As well as rushing touchdowns, which I don't think is also a big surprise. Jack was 2nd with 335 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. It's actually kind of surprising that he was 2nd. I thought it was going to be either Daniel or Max. Actually, to combine Max's position, Hold on a minute. I think he does have the most. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Let's combine them here. 198 plus 135. No, it's 139. He has 337 rushing yards, so he just barely has more rushing yards than Jack did in the regular season. At least. The most receiving yards goes to Chase Barber, tied also with the most touchdowns outside of Bramiller. Carson, again, was a nice security blanket option. The most sacks was allowed by Mike Hansen, and the least amount of sacks, who at least had snaps, were Chase Real with 128. One sack for Connor Krieger and Liam Peterson. Connor with 742. Liam with 237, etc., etc. Defense. The most tackles was Carter Mellicar, with Brown Miller with 67. Tied for tackles for loss was Gio Jock and Carter Mellicar. Most sacks was Carter Mellicar with a quick, short second place. Connor Krieger with 8.5. Then 6 interceptions to Dane and Brown Miller, and tied for second was Daniel Gable and Chase Barber. Kicks, punts, whatever, it's kind of the same thing. Kick returns, the most kick return yardage was Jerome, which isn't a big surprise, with over 600 kick return yards. Actually, over 1,000, because we're including both positions, technically. The most punt return, and really the only person who even had punt return yards, was Chase Barber with 149. I'm pretty sure that's a record. I'm pretty sure nobody is over 1,000 kick return yards. I'd be very surprised if somebody did. Yeah, he not only beat it once, but he beat it twice. He beat it twice. Does that mean, is he hitting the all-time kick return yards? Is he? Actually, it doesn't tell you. Actually, I'll look it up. Let's see. I think he does. Who had the most kick return yards in a single NFL season? Such a weird stat to look up. Maitre Jenkins, who had 2,186 yards in 2000. So no, he didn't beat it. It wasn't even close. Not even close. That's kind of sad. So, um, yeah, guys. Again, I said this before. If you guys didn't know already, I am going to be taking a break from this series. The reason why I want to take a break is because the game just finished the series. There's other series that I want to do on the channel. So it's kind of going to be very interesting to see how that's going to go. So, yeah, but... And also, once again, it's like I played this team way too much, and I kind of need a break. Again, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna do it until maybe June, I assume. And when it's like June time, I think I may potentially do like double uploads or something, because it's summertime, so I should be able to upload maybe twice a day, potentially. I might do that. I also don't think I might do that because it's just not stupid and repetitive. And I need my chances for my videos to grow, and not just force feed you guys content. I don't think anybody's gonna really like that. Even though it is twice a week or twice a video, twice a day, it still would be very tough for people to follow it. And also, we were 7th in points, 20th in passing yards, 1st in rushing yards, which was kind of impressive. 3 in points, 1 in passing yards, and 1 in rushing yards on defense. So that's very interesting. But anyways, guys, I really hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys with the live stream, which I already recorded by the time I made this video. So, anyways, or when this video is recorded. Jesus Christ, guys. Anyway, peace.